So that is the entire agenda of this entire course. So first of all, I'll show you how the curriculum is divided into. I hope you can see my screen, correct? Yes. So first of all, you can see here data structure algorithm. From first 2 weeks will be just introduction of the programming, Python programming. Now my question is with everyone, how many of you are familiar with the programming? You can type in the chat box. Are familiar with the programming? No basics of Python or basics of or any other language? Okay, Python and C. What you're familiar with? Okay, I want everyone to reply. Come on. Python, Java, basic. Okay. Python. Okay. So everyone knows basics of Python, correct? Yes, exactly. Basics. Okay. So even though if you do not know the basics, will be for the first 2 weeks. Okay, whatever basics is there that is required for the data structures and algorithm, that will be solving for the first 2 weeks. So that includes around 12 to 15 hours introduction. So today will be introduction. Today will be given the introduction of programming language, that is programming basics, tools, and environments, and which editor will be using. That also I'm gonna demonstrate. Next, we'll be using after introduction of the programming, we'll be moving on to the data structures and algorithm. This is a very crucial concept where we start with problem-solving techniques and we'll be ending with sorting and search algorithms. Okay, so we'll be starting with data structures and we'll be ending with the algorithms. Next, we'll be moving on to the operating system. Again, operating system is very, very crucial when with DBMS. Once we finish off the DBMS, system design, that is week 12 and 13, and week 14 on your aptitude preparation. Week will be completely focused on your aptitude preparation. So before that, we'll be completing all the basic and the advanced topics. I hope this is very, very clear. I hope this syllabus is there with you, correct? Okay. Now, I want everyone to give a small introduction of yourself. Okay, yourself. What is your name? Where are you from? And what background you're from? And what state you're living in? What city you're living in? And what college you're studying? Okay, small introduction of you. Just 2 to 3 sentences, more than enough. I'll be giving you 2 minutes. Please write it in the chat box and give me your small, brief introduction. Yes. Waiting for your response. And one rule of this class is I want everyone to reply. Okay, if you do not reply, you'll be considered as absent for the entire class. So I want everyone to reply, whoever is present in the class. Okay, Sakshi, very good. Where are you from and what college you're studying and what combination you're studying and what engineering or anything, bachelor's, what's your course basically? Okay, my name is Shayan Michael. I am from Hooghly, Arambagh. I have completed my BCA 2022. Then I've completed my MSc MCA from Wayne University. Okay, great, Shine. This is perfect. So already you have some basic knowledge about Python, I guess, right? MIT, ADT University, Pune. Okay, great. Arnab, colleges, JSA college. Okay, E, very good. E of fourth year. Okay, great. My name is Garima. I'm currently pursuing BTech. Okay, great, BTech. I'm second year CSC student. Perfect. Yes. So everyone is having a background of computer science, correct? Basically. Okay, then I might not have too much difficulty to start with the basics. Now, I want everyone, okay, everyone to please open your Google Drive, okay, because we'll be using something called as Google Collaborate for the entire Python session. So please open Google Drive. Once you open the Google Drive, please give a thumbs up in the chat box so that I can move on to the next step. Please open Google Drive and please avoid using phones. Please use your laptops or desktop. Once you have opened your Google Drive, please give a thumbs up in the chat box. Did you open? Okay, one. Ramadan. Okay, Sakshi done. Because this is very important, okay? Please give a thumbs up. I want everyone to give a thumbs up, then only we can move to the next step. Adab and a child. Okay, Arnab done. Okay, perfect. So what you have to do is, first of all, you're supposed to create one folder. Okay, create a dummy folder. I request. It might be easy to create a Rhinex DSA as a folder name. Anything is fine according to your choice. Create one folder. Okay, because all our files will be present in this particular folder. So that is the reason. So create a folder. Create a folder. What you have to do is click on this new once again. Click on this new once again and go to more. Okay, go to more and click on connect more apps. Okay, click on connect apps. So if you click on this connect more apps, you'll be getting into this Google, workspace marketplace. So here you're supposed to search for collaboratory. Okay, collaboratory. So this you're supposed to search. So first collaborative team, this collaborative team you have supposed to install. Okay, click on this. Simply click on install. Mine is already installed, so that is the reason I'm getting uninstall as the option. Please click on install. Once you complete it, thumbs up. Okay, so once it is installed, click on more now. You'll be getting something called as Google Query here, right? I hope this is getting by everyone. So click on this Google Collaboratory. So this is the interface. I request everyone to see my screen and check whether you're getting the same screen. Okay. This is the interface we are working on for the entire DSA using Python. I hope everyone is getting this. And change the file name and do not change the extension, please. Change the file name to introduction to DSA. Okay, or you can write introduction to Python. Okay, let us first give the introduction to Python, then we'll start with the DSA. Complete. Avoid going to the collaborative. First of all, okay, and understand what are the functions that is present in this particular collaborative. So we have something called as code editor here. Now, how this works? Basically, this is very simple. If I write, and if I click on this run button, you can see here there is something called as connecting. Okay, this is connected to the Google Drive. Automatically, this will be saved into a Google Drive, so you don't have to manually save it. Automatically, this will be saved, and automatically this will be connected. But each and every time you open this particular file, every time you have to, runtime will be to connect it once again. Okay, that is the only drawback of this particular collaboratory. Then nothing is great. Now you can see something called as 2 plus 3. Then I'm getting the answer as 5. Correct. So if I write 5 minus 3, then also I'm getting the value as 2. Now let's say I want to get one more code in my one particular collaborative. So we have something called as code here. If I remove this, we have something called as code and text here. Can you see here? Code and text. So if I click on this code, I'll be getting one different collaborative. Okay, this is called as a new collaborative, and this is called as a previous collaborative. So if I click on this, and I can create my one more value, that is 5 plus 5. That is, let's say 10. Okay, very simple. So one collaborative is there, second collaborative is there. If I want to make a new collaborative once again, instead of pressing this, you can press Control MB. Okay, it is CTRL plus M plus B. Okay, so if you press Control MB, this will go to the new collaborative. In the sense, new cell of the collaborative. These all are called as cells. Okay, so new cell will be generated here. So let's come back to the first cell, and let us start with the introduction of the Python. Before starting with the introduction of the Python, I want everyone with your knowledge to understand, to tell me what is the understanding or what do you mean by programming language. Can anyone tell me in the chat box, what do you mean by programming language in a simple term? So Python is basically a programming language, right? So please, in a simple term, can you tell me what is a programming language? Anyone? What do you mean by programming language? Okay. In simple terms, can I say programming language is a language you can understand, right? Programming language is a we'll be learning something about comments. Okay, how to create a comment, and okay, yeah, very good. It's a process in which it converts a work into a computer language. Yes, great. Let's understand what do you mean by comments. Create a comment, always you're supposed to use something called as hashtag in Python. Okay, in Python, if you want to create any kind of comments, you'll be starting with something called out. Okay, hashtag. Okay, so comments. So everyone, please write this comments. Okay. Now, why this comments is used? Let's say I'm creating a program called as 2 plus 2, and I'm running this 4. Okay, this is a very basic addition of what I've done. So I can add a comment called as basic addition. Now, why this is required? This is required for the complex programs. Okay, imagine there is a complex program, and you want, for each and every line, you want an understanding of that program. So for each and every line, something called as comment, so that you can easily understand what is that program and how it is working. Now, the understanding of this comment is, this comment will not be executed. Okay, this comment won't be executed. Only execution is, this will be simply ignored by the editor. Okay, it will be ignored. So this hashtag and whatever you write in front of that, this is called as single line comment. Very simple. Yes. single line comment. Single line comment. Now you might be having a question called as how to write a multi-line comment. Okay. Now, what is the drawback? I'll show you. If you have, if you're supposed to write, then you're supposed to write one more hashtag, let's say some comments again, once again, hashtag and again some comments. So this is not a feasible way, and this is not a good way to follow as well. So that is the reason something called as a multi-line comment. This is called as a multi-line comment. So I'll be writing here multi-line comment. And how does this work is, this works with the help of 3 quotes. Okay. This works with the help of, see, can you see this is a multi-line comment? Practically the collaborator is saying that this is a multi-line comment, correct? So I'll be just pressing that. And I'll be closing with a triple. So this triple quote and whatever you write inside that, this is considered as a multi-line comment. Can you see? This is considered as a multi-line comment. So I'll be writing, let's say, Sinex DSA Python basics, some random things. Okay. So this, whatever you can write inside this triple quotes is considered as a multi-line comment. Again, this multi-line comment is not carried over or executed by the editor. This will be simply ignored by the editor. Okay. So much is clear. Any doubts in this? Any doubts? Please reply no, or if you have any doubts, you can push me the doubts. No. Okay, great.
No doubt.
Yes. Now let us start with how to basically how to run this without using the mouse. Okay, how to run this particular cell without using a mouse. To run this particular cell without using a mouse, we are using something called as Control CTRL plus Enter. Okay, Control Enter is used to run the existing cell, or you can write active cell, run the active cell. Okay, Control Enter. So if you press Control Enter, automatically this will be run. Okay, this is considered as, instead of pressing this will also work, but instead of pressing this, you can use Control Enter to run the cell. And I told you already that is CTRL plus B. Okay, this is, see, you can see the run the active cell and insert a new cell. Okay, Control MB is used to run the new cell. So it is used to create new cell. Perfect. So this is called as a multi-line comment. I hope this is clear. Okay. Now let us move on to the something called as a print function. Okay. Let us move on to something called as a print function. And let us write a comment called as syntax for print function. Now, please tell me, what do you mean by syntax?
The structure of something written code.
Please mute yourself. Okay. What do you mean by syntax? Anyone? Okay. So syntax is nothing but a rule. It's always considered as a rule. For example, I'll give you one simple, brief example. To talk with Python, to talk in English. Okay. It's a written code of any program. Syntax is basically the rules. Yes, correct. Perfect. Yes, perfect. So I'll take you one. I will give you one simple example where, if we are talking in English, okay, if we are talking in English, let's say if I want to ask, how are you? Okay, if I want to ask, how are you? Instead of how are you, if I ask, who are you? Or let's say anything that is jumbled, or you are, it is not a right way to talk in English, okay, because it has to follow some rules. Exactly same. follow some rules when we write a syntax. We have to follow some rules while we write a Python code. So that is the reason it is called as. Now, syntax for print function, in the sense rules to write a print function. Now, how to do it? First of all, we are supposed to write as a keyword. Okay, this is called as a keyword. Now, after writing the keyword, you are supposed to write a colon, in the sense common brackets. Now, inside the common brackets, you are supposed to use a single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes. Anything will work. Okay, anything will work. So for timing, we'll be using double quotes because standard quotes that is being used in across the platforms. So that is the reason we'll be using double quotes. Now, inside this double quotes, let's just write hello world. Okay, now how did I tell you to run a particular cell? That is control enter, correct? So control enter. This is how you get the output. Okay, you'll be getting the output here, that is hello world. Now, if I want to continue with this particular value, okay, and if I want to write hello world in the next line also, so what I can do? I can obviously write this print function, copy it and paste it. And if I run this, I'll be getting. But this is not the right way. The right way is, anyone? Yes, exactly. We can use something called as /n. Okay, we can use something called as /n, but we are supposed to use that under an attribute. So I'll tell you what is this attribute. But before, how to print? I mean the two statements, printing two statements in one print function. Now, how to do this? If I want to print, let's say after hello world, let's say I want to write how are you? Okay, there are two statements now, and this two statements I want to present in one particular print function. So how to do it? It's very simple. Again, we are supposed to use print, and already it is being prompted. See, print hello world, comma, then we are supposed to use how are you. Okay, this is how you write two statements in one print function. Hello world, how are you, with the comma. Okay, with the separator called as comma. Simple. Okay, now let us understand the attributes of print function. So this is very, very interesting. So the attributes of print function are as follows. First of all, let me write the syntax for that. Syntax for attributes of print function. This attributes is also called as parameters. Okay. Syntax for attributes or parameters of the print function. For timing, we'll be using the word keyword as a parameters instead of attributes. Okay. So syntax for parameters of the print function. The first parameter is called as separator. Okay. SEP. SEP. This is called as a separator. Now, why do you think this separator is used? And the second one is called as end parameter. So let us take first parameter called as a separator parameter, and let's understand how does this work. And let's start with the print. Print hello world. Hello world. Okay, it's giving me the entire how are you. Now, this is what we have done in printing the two statements in one print function. Now, instead, if I run this, you can see I'm getting hello, how are you? Okay. After hello world, I want a comma. So one method is directly writing the comma here. Obviously, we'll be getting that value. But this is not the right way. The right way is giving the parameter called as separator, SEP, and giving the value of the separator as a comma. And if I run this, this particular hello world, that is the first statement, and the second statement is separate, comma, and this is how you run it. Okay. So anything can be written as a separator. You can also give a space. Okay. You can also give the space as a separator. You can also give the exclamation, anything in the keyboard, anything you can give as a separator value for the this parameter. I hope this is clear. Right? Okay. Now, if you ask me why this end parameter is used, correct? Why this end parameter is used? I'll tell you why. So first of all, I'll be writing one simple example called as hello world. After hello world, I'll be using something called as, before writing this, I'll be writing one more. How are you? Okay. Now, let's say I have two parameters now. Okay, so two print statements. For this two print statements, it is obviously the different lines. Instead of writing in the different lines, I want this in the single line. Okay, this two print function, I want to execute in a single line. So how can I do it? So by default, the parameter called as end. Okay, by default, this parameter called as end, your /n. Obviously, we'll get, okay, my bad. It is, yes, okay, it is inverse, I mean, /. You can see it is, by default, it is a new line. So even if you don't give this end parameter, if I remove this, by default, I'll be getting the output as the same. Hello world, how are you? Even if I write this end parameter, even then I'm getting the same value, that is hello, how are you, in the different lines. Now let's say I'll be changing line to a space. Okay. Instead of new line, I'll be changing the end parameter to a space. Now, what do you think my output will be? Now, just see your output and tell me what the output should be. It is in the single line, but I have changed that to a space. So it is line. Instead, it is printing the hello world, and the end parameter is a space. So it is giving a space, and it is moving to the next print, that is how are you. Please give a thumbs up once you completed so much. And if you have any doubts, please report in the chat box. Please give a thumbs up. Yes. Now, a very important topic called as a variable. Now, I believe everyone knows what is a variable, but variable, to write a variable, there are some rules to be followed. First of all, let us write what is a variable. Okay, what is a variable? Anyone, can you explain what is a variable? Anyone, can you say what is a variable? Variable is nothing but which can store a value, correct? Am I right? Yes, variable are used to store values. Exactly, Garima. Very good. It is used to store a, let's say, to store a value, I'll be using a is equal to 10. So obviously, I'm getting the, okay, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, and I'm printing the value a plus b. So what should be my output? My output will be obviously 30, right? Because a plus b is nothing but 20 plus 10, and that will be 30. So 10 is stored in the value, I mean, a variable called as a. So a has the value 10. 20, the value is stored in b. So the b has the value 20. So when you add that variable a plus b, so obviously answer is 30. Now, what is the rules we are supposed to follow? To write this variable, there are some rules. The rules are, first rule, that is always start with the character. Okay, always we are supposed to start with a character. Now let's say we are not starting with a character and we are starting with a number, that is 1a. And here also I'll be changing the value, that is print 1a. So if I run this, we'll be getting an output called as invalid decimal literal. In the sense, we are not supposed to start with the numeric number. Okay, we are not supposed to start with a numeric number or any number. It is always supposed to start with a character. Now, let's say I want to start with a number. Okay, if I want to start with a number, then there is one more method, that is we can start with underscore. Okay, we can start with underscore. Now, how that works? Basically, if I write underscore 1a, okay, underscore 1a, here also if I write underscore 1a, this is a valid variable. If I run this, we'll be getting the value as 30 again, right? So underscore 1a will work. In the sense, underscore at the beginning will work. So basically, it has to start with a character. If it doesn't start with a character, at least it has to start with the underscore. So 2 rules are done. Let us move on to the third rule. The third rule is very basic. That is, no space should be given between the variable name. Okay, no space should be given between the variable name. In the sense, let's say I have written, I want to write A1. Okay, I want to write A1 and I'm giving the space as a wrong variable. In a sense, like this. Okay, it is saying that it's an invalid syntax. But now I'm supposed to write A1. I'm supposed to write A1 either without any space, or let's say I want a space. If I want a space, then so this is how you do it. Is that clear? Any doubts? Any doubts still here? No. Okay, perfect. Let us move to the fourth keyword. Fourth rule. And this is a very important rule called as keywords cannot be used as variable name. Now if you ask me what is this in name, okay, built-in function. So you can see print, okay, we can see print as a function name. So this print function name is also called as a keyword because this is built in Python so that it can understand some. So if you write this print as a variable name, print is equal to 10, this won't be understood by the Python. See, this won't be understood by the Python because we are getting the value. See, it is saying that always start with the character. We can start with the underscore. So we cannot start. We cannot use a keyword for using a variable. Always remember this. We can underscore in the beginning, or either use a character in the beginning, or if I want to use a number in the beginning, then I can use anything else. Use the same thing, underscore 1a. Now let us run this. Okay. Sometimes once I run this keyword, then I'm getting the errors again and again. So I'll be refreshing the entire thing. Okay, yes. Everything. So I'll be refreshing everything once again. Okay, I have to stop my runtime. Okay, let me open it once again. Yes, it is. No problem. It is giving me the error for everything. Yes. I'm disconnecting the runtime. 1 second. Okay. So now we are getting the values. Okay, perfect. So I hope everyone has understood what are the basics. So we have learned single line comment, the multi-line comment, the syntax for print function, the parameters that is being used in the print function, and find the variable. Now comes a very important crucial part. This is called as a data type. So we have obviously we have learned something called as a data type in the that is your int, integer, your string, your float, all those. So exactly same thing continues with Python. So data types are mainly three. Okay, there are mainly three, and rest we can ignore. So first one you already know, that is a integer, and by short form it is called as a int. Second one, it is, and this is used in Python as small case float. Third one is, let's say, Boolean. Okay, and this is taken as bool. And fourth one, if you want it, in Python basically we do not use this. So str, that is string. Yes, so these are the basic important data types that we are gonna use across our DSA. So first one is integer, second one is float, third one is Boolean, and fourth one is string. Now please tell me what difference between this integer and the float. I'll give an example. It's very simple that if I write 2 and if I 4, I'll be getting the answer as 6. Is a data type of the 6. So to find that, we have something called as type function. So inside this type function, if I apply this, I'll be getting the value as the whole numbers. In the sense, 2, 4 doesn't have any point value. These are the whole numbers. Numbers are always considered as the integers. Please understand this. The whole numbers are always considered as the integer. So you can write a hyphen here, and you can write whole numbers. Very simple. Okay. Next, what is this float? Okay, what is this float? Now let's say I'll be dividing 4 divided by 2. Okay, 4 divided by 2, and if I run this, I'll be getting the value as a 2 point. Now why I'm getting the value as a 2.0, not a 2? So this is very important. Why? Because this point value has some meaning. So always this point value is taken as a data type, float data type. So if I want to check that, I'll be using a type function. And if I run this, I'll be getting the value as float. Okay. So you can consider this float as a decimal number, right? Decimal numbers. Now, what is this Boolean? Boolean is very, very important because Boolean has only 2 values. The 2 values, anyone? Can you just say in the chat box? What are the 2 values of Boolean? Yes, 0 and 1. But instead of 0 and 1, there is something else. What is the value of that 0? Can anyone tell me? What is the value of that 0 and what is the value of that 1? Anyone? The value of 0 and what is the value of 1? Yes, exactly. It is true and false, right? So if I write A is equal to true, okay, A is equal to true. And if I, okay, so already this, so print the type of A. So if I run this, so I'll be getting the class as Boolean. Okay. So true and false is always considered in Python as a Boolean data type. So why, if you ask me why this is important, this is important. This is important because it is always, the Boolean is important because for the condition to be true and the condition to be false. Let's say I want a particular condition to be true. Okay. In a program, I want a particular condition should be true. So that is the reason I'll be using a Boolean called as true. And sometimes I want my condition should be false. So that is the reason I'll be using a Boolean value called as a false data type. Next one is a string data. String data type is very, very simple. Whatever is enclosed in, let's say I'll be writing a print function, whatever is enclosed in double quotes, this is always considered as a string data type. Okay, so if you want to find the type of this, I'll be using type function outside the print. So you can see, okay, my bad. So you can see class str. Okay, class str in the sense class as a string data type. So whatever is enclosed in the double quotes, single quotes. I'll show you with the single quotes as well. So this will also work. Single quotes. This is also string, and a triple quotes also will work. So triple quotes to open with and triple quotes to close with. Even this is considered as a string data type. So I hope everyone got some basic idea of what is the data types and what is a print function, what is the parameters of the print function, and the multi-line and the single line comment. So I hope the introduction is going very smoothly, and I hope this is very interesting, and I hope everyone understood what I'm trying to say. So if it is true, I want everyone to give a thumbs up in the chat box, and we'll wind up the session. If you have any doubts, you can stay back in the meeting, or if you don't have any doubts, you can give a thumbs up. Okay, Sakshi, Harshvardhan, Garima, 3 are done. One more. Yes, you can post your queries if you have any queries, or else we are good to go. I hope today's session was informative, and we'll meet you in the next class. That is the same time. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Excuse me.
Yes, Harshvardhan.
Sir, am I asking that in which application are you just compiling these codes?
This is called a collaboratory. Okay. So I'll be showing you how to do this. First of all, what you have to do is you have to go to Google Drive. Okay. After going to Google Drive, click on this new, go to more, and you are supposed to click on this connect more apps. So if you click on this connect more apps, you'll be landing into the Google Workspace Marketplace. So here we are supposed to use collaboratory. Okay. And this collaboratory you are supposed to install. Once you install this, you'll be getting this new, go to more, and you'll be getting this Google Collaboratory here. Okay. Click on this Google Collaboratory and you'll be landing into this environment. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.